At a distance of 37 kilometers from the city of Sentinel in France, over the deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean, there stands a desolate lighthouse. A unique fact is associated with this lighthouse. Anyone who agrees to guard this lighthouse will be paid an annual salary of around more than $1 million, which amounts to 32 crore rupees. However, since 1991, no one has been willing to take up this job, and the reason behind it will send shivers down your spine. In a recent episode of 7 Stories, we welcome you all and thank you for your love. Lighthouses are typically built at elevated locations in the ocean, such as on rocks or cliffs, so that their light can guide ships and boats safely away from the coast or rocky paths. Currently, there are more than 18,000 lighthouses worldwide, but only 4,000 of them are still actively in use. Among these, there is one lighthouse that people are even afraid to talk about: the Juman Lighthouse, also known as the Joker Lighthouse. The name Juman is actually a French word that refers to a type of horse. From 1888 to 1904, around 31 ships had crashed and sunk on the rocks near this lighthouse, resulting in the loss of more than 250 lives. This tower was built with the purpose of guiding the incoming and outgoing ships to avoid these large and sharp rocks. Interestingly, many people lost their lives during the construction of this lighthouse. The construction began in 1904 and was completed in 1912. This 118-foot tall tower took 8 years to build, using 5 lakh granite stones and 1,000 tons of concrete. However, what is truly astonishing is that this lighthouse is constantly covered by the powerful and high waves of the ocean, which can reach speeds of up to 120 kilometers and cause the walls of the lighthouse to tremble. On December 5, 1991, a historic storm hit the lighthouse, with 60-foot high waves crashing against it. At that time, the lighthouse was being guarded by Perly Goff, who was terrified by the intensity of the storm. Suddenly, he heard the sound of a helicopter, thinking that someone had come to his rescue. However, the helicopter belonged to a photographer named John Kosher, who was capturing the dramatic scenes of the storm. As Perly Goff approached the lighthouse door to seek help, a massive wave rose from behind and swept him away, leading to his tragic death, with his body never to be found. This incident and the haunting photograph taken by John Kosher made this lighthouse even more famous and infamous. The history behind the necessity of building this lighthouse and the importance of keeping its light constantly illuminated can be traced back to a time when there were no roads or vehicles for long-distance travel. The safest and most efficient mode of transportation was the sea, but the problem was the sudden disappearance of ships in the vast ocean. Sailors of that era relied on the sun, stars, and primitive navigation tools to guide their ships, but when storms hit, they would often lose their direction and end up drifting for months, eventually succumbing to hunger and thirst. One such tragic incident occurred in 1857 when the Hanson Bay ship, carrying 200 passengers from London to Canada, encountered a powerful storm near the Azores Islands. The ship crashed into a rocky outcrop, resulting in the death of more than 200 people on board. This incident was a catalyst for the establishment of the world's first lighthouse, which was built near the Mediterranean Sea in the ancient city of Alexandria, Egypt. The king of this kingdom, Ptolemy, recognized the need for a solution to guide the ships safely through the treacherous waters and commissioned expert architects to design a towering lighthouse. This 284-foot-tall marble structure, known as the Lighthouse of Alexandria, was built on an island off the coast of the city and had a massive fire at the top, which was constantly fueled by oil and wood. This lighthouse is considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and its design and longevity were the driving factors behind the construction of similar towers in other kingdoms. In the modern era, most lighthouses have become obsolete due to the advanced navigation features in ships. However, there are still some lighthouses where people continue to work, and their lives are filled with constant danger. The keepers of these lighthouses undergo extensive training, and even an ordinary person cannot survive for more than 4 hours in such harsh conditions. One of the lighthouse keepers, Nomo Peters, has described the first night in the lighthouse as terrifying, as the powerful waves constantly hit the tower, making it feel like someone is pushing it. He also mentioned feeling extremely lonely, with the howling winds making him feel like he is being watched, and even hearing the cries of women coming from the sea. The annual salaries of these lighthouse keepers typically range from $40,000 to $80,000, but the one $2 million salary associated with the Juman Lighthouse raises many questions. When this tower was initially built, it cost around 1 lakh euros, which is approximately 29 crore rupees in today's time. The question arises, how can a lighthouse that cost only 29 crore rupees have a caretaker with a salary of 32 crore rupees? The truth is that this high salary figure is a hoax, and many people applied for this job through a fake website. This is just one of the many mysteries in the world that have been solved, but there are still unsolved mysteries. If you would like me to make a video on this topic, please let me know in the comments.